Hey there cats, good time of the day to you and thank you for tuning into my channel. This video will feature many things that are probably explained better than I can explain on other channels, and you might know that I do not like to do such things, but thing is, this is the video which is more like I'm doing for myself. But you're free to tune in too. And thing is, this week's around, for the first time in my life, I got deep into modding Unreal Engine 4 video game. So this was pretty much my first encounter with Unreal Engine 4, and it was hard. It was darn hard. It was a crash course. There are a lot of things that I didn't know in Unreal Engine 4. I guess mainly because I usually dabble with old games, double, whatever. Usually like hacking the old games, and this one was very unusual. So I'm trying to sum up this experience, and this is a tutorial for myself to solidify all the knowledge I got. To start, I started with Cheat Engine. Thing is, this is a game about Age of Sailing, and this game features customizable ships. And there are some things which the developers as usually did not give to the player normally. So I wanted some AI-only hulls and whatnot, some cosmetic options. I mean, yeah, cosmetics. I know, most people hack for God mode and infinite ammo, I go for cosmetics, but ships are like cars, and customization is important in my opinion, and if it presents, I gotta have it. And you might not know, but cosmetics are usually the harder things to get. All those health, infinite ammunition and whatnot, they're usually easy because they're numbers, and numbers are in the memory. They're changing. Cosmetics, they are static, and these are files which are loaded from the game, and so they might not be in the memory at all, which is the case here. Unfortunately, there are usually ways, they're usually hooked up to something, and this is where I started. I thought they're hooked up to something, and first things first, I decided to try the cheat engine and get myself an item list, and that worked. I've got a huge item list which is actually not complete, but like 98% of items are here, and it has around 1,500 entries, and I started to check all these items one by one and trying, you know, to get the AI only items. By then I was sure that they are still items for AI. So yeah, I guess let's start with something very basic which can be applied to all games, but for this game specifically, let me show you how to change an item. So what you need is equip something. Let's try Sunny Sails, because I know for sure I have a code for that. And now we got to prompt the game to save. Usually it is easier to be done. We are going to the main menu, like, oh yeah, we need to save the, we need to save it. It is going to the main menu. I'm saving the game, it's my bad, sorry. We need to dock, and then we need to go to the main menu. The game only saves when you are docking or leaving the docks. So we gotta dock and save. And now that the game is saved, we can go to the main menu. Actually, let's find the value first. So the value for my sails is here, Sunny Sail, somewhere here. Here they are, Sunny Sail. These values are static, and they are array of byte, and we can get them like this. So now we got to change this value, so let's swap sails for anything else basically. Let's go for Swampy Sails. And now that the game is saved, the value should be updated. Maybe I'm lucky and actually got this value around here. Swampy Sails. Oops. Swampy Sails, like this. Reinforced Swampy Sails. Oh, here they are, 1835 D2. Alright, So there are two values. One is here, and here's the second one. Here's the third one too. Alright, 3 is enough. Usually there are 2, one of those do not do anything, but we can do it like this. So now to swap this item, we just got to pick something different. Let's try this one. I'm not sure why I marked this, it was way too long. I've spent 3 days trying to complete that item list, trying to find the, you know, the AI only items. So now that we swapped the code, we got to reload the game. Let's swap it again because I see it wrote Sunny Sail there again. But now we definitely swapped it. And when we swapped it, we do not dock anymore because that will rewrite our swap with the values from the game. And now what do we have here? Carnival figurehead. This is it. This is how you do the swaps. Well, pardon me for the somewhat messed up explanation, but this is the basic cheat engine stuff, and I'm pretty sure you know how to do this if you are watching this video. Oh, I mean, this is the basic cheat engine. So you can see it as equipped as a sails, but if we will unequip it, it will move to the figureheads as it's supposed to be. So yeah, here it is. So it's a good solid method. And what can I say? Well, you can get any item you want this way, as long as you know its code, and you can actually equip 2 meshes. I'm not sure how useful it is, but you can equip, say, a hull as your crew, and you will get 2 different meshes on your hull, which can result into some extra cosmetics. But that's the only practical way of using this hack other than getting yourself every item. Alright, so now as I've said, I spent 3 days trying to fill this item list, and I filled about 1/3 of it when I started to get some suspicion that something's wrong, that AI doesn't actually have, you know, items. After several more hacks, which are pretty much useless, but so I won't show them, I'll just mention them. So after several more hacks, I managed to open the inventory in the tutorial, which is normally blocked. And thing is, tutorial is the only place where the player gets an AI only ship. So this is why I thought to open the inventory in the tutorial, and when I managed to do that, guess what I found? The inventory was completely empty. Which means, of course, that AI-only items are written in some other way. And that's what I thought. It's like, it's all bad. It's all very, very bad. Anyway, I tried a little more to figure things out with cheat engine, and when it didn't work, I started to move. I started to move to the Unreal Engine 4 specific tools. You know, this is the thing about Unreal Engine 4 and Unity, of course. While they are both hard and easy to modify. Hard because they are modern engines and things in them are very, very complicated at some points, like this thing here with cosmetics in this game. But at the same time, there are lots of people who modify these games because there are lots of games, and therefore lots of people are involved, and a lot of people that use these engines, and therefore there are a lot of tools which you can use and which are already written, as far as you can find some documentation for them. So first things first, much like in Vampur, I launched I dropped into the folder of my game the Unreal Engine 4 Unlocker, which luckily for us has the functionality to unlock the console for us like this. And from that point on, this unlocking console is the only function which I used in Vampur. And by the way, unlike in Vampur, which for some reason didn't work, where Universal Unreal Engine 4 Unlocker for some reason didn't work with GOG version of the game, with this game everything is alright, and it works with Unreal Engine 4 Unlocker. GOG version works with Unreal Engine 4 Unlocker. So, console was the only option which I used in Vampur, but with this game this was not enough, because in Vampur there was some guy on Nexus who dumped some console commands for me, and I used them as a basis for my own console commands. But this time no one was modding this game, you know, this is the thing I do, modding the game, no one else mods, and I had to figure out how to get your own console commands. So let's get to this, and there are several options which are very useful, which can help us. For them we need to press available features, and here we have buttons that say dump object info and dump CVARs. Especially useful for them are dump object info. Dump CVARs gets us CVARs, and these are various variables which can be used with console directly. These things, you know, but this is not what we need for cosmetics. Now, objects dump. If we'll press dump object info, it will do the thing. It will show us where exactly it saves the objects dump as well. It's usually in the same folder where your IJCS client is. By the way, for this game I'm using Unreal Engine Unlocker 4, and I use version 426, I believe. Oh, 4612, here it is. Here, where can I see it? 4612, yeah. So once you've dumped objects dump, you can open it, and here's what you have. Yes, I want to renew it. It's a huge list of everything the game loads, and the problem was how to read it. And I figured it out by reading this tutorial by Sunbeam. This whole thread is awesome, and I'll link it in the description, but it will teach you how to read all this stuff in the objects dump. In 2 words, you need to find things like I don't know, let's start with something like this, whatever. See, BP Cannonball C, BP, yeah, something like this. BP generated class. What, this one is good. Blueprint generated class. You see, then you gotta search for something like this, for example. And _C is a very useful thing. It cannot find anything like this. An alternative is without _C, but usually it is useful. Like, here's another good one. Actually, let's start with this one. In general, probably this is the most important symbol in the Unreal Engine 4 Unlocker dump object info dumps. This dash and you know, arrow to the right. This thing can search stuff like this, and I'll tell you what it is in several moments. Thing is, these are like classes of objects. So let's find the root of castle base C. Usually it's better to do from the very start, like this. And yes, it is the thing. And this is the class of the object, blueprint generated class, and there it goes, class. And this class, we need to find something that actually defines defines things. This one is good, yeah. So see, moving down, we can eventually get to the class that actually defines something. And while we cannot get anything about functions, we can get various properties via get command. Static mesh, you see, and eventually by moving down like this, I found, I believe in EDC equipment, I found a line which said ship equip array property. And this is the property which we can get. And we can get it from an item. And an item is the thing that we started from, something like this. As you can see, and it goes down to castle base, to EDC equipment, and as we just saw, EDC equipment has that property which says, you know, ship equip. And so by copying this thing as a test, for example, we can open our console and write down something like get bp castle ship equip. Or was it equip ship? I'm not sure. Ship equip. And as you can see, it gave us the line of cosmetics it uses. It actually took me a lot of time to figure that out. And in general, by searching through objects dump, you can find a lot of stuff like this. You can find a lot of different objects using different classes and different properties which you can get via get command, as long as your Unreal Engine 4 unlocker says set console command re-enabled yes. If set console command re-enabled, it means it is not useless to search for this stuff and use gets to get the information you need. Another good alternative for the Universal Unreal Engine 4 unlocker would be the cheat table done by the guy named CakeSun. Yeah, and CakeSun made a cheat table which can do object dumps and which can do CVAR dumps as well, I believe, and it can also dump names for you. It can also be useful, not in our case, but it is quite useful to know that there is an option to dump names. Once again, in this case I have nothing to do with it, but yeah, I can get name dumps as well. I believe it's somewhere around here. I don't remember where I dumped names, but whatever. It's just useful to note, to be aware that this thing also exists. Actually, let's just launch it. Why am I not doing this, huh? Where's my packs I stored here? And let's add it in a cheat engine instance. Go for this, yes, keep. And we need to activate the scripts. It will take a bit of time to activate them. Gotta say, I just love Age of Sailing games. It's kind of a shame there are not much Age of Sailing games to begin with. This one I'm playing right now, King of Seas. It's got mediocre reviews on Steam, but I'm not sure why. I mean, yeah, it's kind of repetitive, but I can't really call it boring. I played games which are way more repetitive and way more grindy. I think this game is alright, and it definitely scratches the Age of Sailing itch. Good enough, I'd say, yeah, solid. Solid. Neat little game. And, well, yeah, scripts activated. So, here they are, UE object dumper algo, UE name dumper algo, all that stuff, and you can just press them and they will dump it. Oh yeah, it dumps it right on your desktop. That's how this thing works. Is it already dumped actually? Oh, now it's dumped. Yeah, I have it opened in my... I forgot, I have it opened in my Notepad++. I used, Unreal Engine 4 Unlocker Objects Dump because they're a little bit easier in structure. But for whatever reason there is no option to dump names, and there is an option to dump names in this cheat table. So that's a useful thing. Alright, now that's how you search for various properties which you can change with the set command into words via objects dump. It takes a while to read those things, and a get command doesn't return every property for whatever reason, most likely because each game has its own amount of spaghetti code. But once you got the property you can change, we need to somehow extract this line from the console. And I'm sure there are more efficient ways to do it, but here's how I do it via cheat engines. So I simply search for string, and right now I will get a lot of strings because I've been experimenting with console. And I write the words which you can see in the console, obviously, and case sensitive is not what we need to have checked, but UTF-16 is what we need to check, and it will take a while. My biggest gripe against this game is that I'm not sure how it happened, but some obviously broken things were never fixed. I mean, for example, there are a lot of things which have two materials in the game files, and the devs thought they assigned the material right, but the game doesn't load the line which the devs have assigned, because the game actually loads the material which is stored inside the mesh. And I wonder how come nobody noticed the simple fact that the assigned line doesn't work. I mean, I understand why players didn't notice it, because there are thumbnails with the correct materials assigned, so somebody could have, I mean I did, scratched one's head and you know, had the urge to report that something is wrong. I did that if I played the game earlier. Well, meanwhile the scan is done, and what we need to do now is to get rid of these multitude of results. We need to select them all and just to replace them with whatever, well, as long as it's not the line we are searching for. And then we need to run the get command one more time to get the correct line, and run one more scan, which this time will return only one result, the result which we actually need. So yeah, what was I talking about is that somehow nobody ever reported this obvious glitch, and I understand why nobody reported it, kind of, because there are not much of players, and as I said before, mixed reviews on Steam, so not many people liked it. Alright, understandable, they just dropped it. But how come devs didn't notice that the lines that they assigned do not actually work? This is just so weird to me. And well, I fixed it, and we'll come to materials just a tad bit later. And well, meanwhile, let's wrap it up with this thing. As I said, just one result. And I'm pretty sure there are faster methods to extract that line, but yeah, that's how I do it. Feel free to leave your method in a comment if somebody skilled happens to stumble across this video and actually watch it for whatever reason. I think this is why my help me please in such videos never work. I guess skilled people do not look for tutorials, and I'm doing tutorials when I'm not skilled myself, at least not that skilled. Anyway, here's our value. Now we browse it in the memory, and we go straight to where it ends. It's usually very easy to notice where it ends. It starts with two, I forgot the word skopki on English. Skopki, you know, starts with two these curved things, and it ends with two curved things, two symbols. And so we do it like this. Since it is UTF-16, we need to replace 0 zeros with something empty, and then I go to the side which transfers hex to string like this, press convert, and I get this. Does it look like something useful? Yes, quite. CR, it doesn't look like the thing I need actually. I'm pretty... oh no, yes, it's exactly the thing I need. I was checking for this. CR, yes. I mean, of course I didn't know it back then when I did the first scan, but I know that CR is the rear, the quarter deck, and I now know that we search for this thing, and it says here castle. Castle is equal to quarter deck in this game. So yeah, it's the right thing. This is how you do it. This is how you extract your stuff. And I guess it is easy to see in this code instead in this example, but since Unreal Engine 4 is pretty much universal, There should not be many differences between games. This is the pluses of universal engines of the modern times. So static mesh loads the mesh and material loads material. Now, how do you get different values for this stuff? Well, one thing is of course extract a lot of different objects via get command, but obviously, as I've said already, I found out that AI only cosmetics burnt items, so I need another way. And another way is to check for the files of the game. And files of the game came in the pack. I will not show you how to unpack files, I'm sorry, but you can grab either QuickBMS script for it, I use this thing, or repak, which is even easier. There are multiple ways of unpacking Unreal Engine 4 packs, and this is very easy, and there are tons of tutorials in the internet, so this is one thing I won't waste my time on. And once the files are unpacked, you can search for lines like this, like let's go for SM Galleon Colonial somewhere from here, and press enter. Here they are, and then we press onto the file, you know, for the Explorer, Windows Explorer, to get us to the place where the file is stored. And already here we can see a lot of other things stored. And if we go up one level, we can see even more things are stored. MI are stored here. MI is material instance, T is for texture, different shapes. And well, you just read it. You just read files of the game and you figure things out. This is how you do it. I did everything for you and composed this giant material meshes list, which includes a lot of stuff. And here are various examples, and let me just try to do something with the hull. I use hull Ancestrale Gera. By the way, in this game, developers, at least some of the developers, were Italians, and so a lot of language, a lot of names in the code are on Italian. So in order to find your item, it is easier to switch to Italian in the options, like this, Italiano. And let's go to the bank and try to change some hull, for example. Banca. And hulls. These are quarterdecks, these are sails, here are the hulls. Let's grab, I don't know, something that I didn't grab before, just to show you how it's done. One of these, I guess, will do. Let's go with this one. Electrico da Conquista. And this is how you do it. So, Electrico da Conquista. We open our objects dump and we go for Electrico. Skeletrico, без C, without C. Here it is. Here it goes. Electrico Conquista looks pretty good, I'd say. But it's a castle and we need a hull, so let's add a hull. The only problem here can be is that several items may use one blueprint, but if you don't file the blueprint, you can try the neighboring blueprints. The way the game loads objects, it is usually somewhere around the item, you know. And I'd say we pretty much found it by now. Here it is. But if we didn't have it, once again, the blueprints which are related to the item are usually somewhere around the item itself. For example, you can see that this brick tourist actually uses blueprint class Carnivale, and so on, stuff like this. So once we found our item, we can use it in my prepared line. Just to show it how it works, let's go into the carpenter and actually equip the hull at ease, as is. So where it is, X, and here we have yellow ship. So let's replace this hull with the one we found, and I'm using a flute. So let's for example use I don't know, let's use a navy material. I like this one, navy 03. And we need to paste it in the static mesh. Oh no, into the material. Yeah, because this is a material. And replace ship name with flute. 3 instances of this. And there we go. And the thing is, you see, the color of the hull is yellow, is the material. And the static mesh line is these 3 rings, various planks. They're normally connected to each other, but as I'm preparing my custom line, I can use a different mesh which is not normally supported by the game. So while I use material from the Navy, I can use a mesh, I don't know, let's say from a colonial ship. Where they are, let's go for the colonial here. Oh, here it is. And let's use custom mesh for, oops, so Control C and static mesh, it is for the flute, yes. Now we replace it, and once again we replace all instances of the ship name with flute. And now we copy this whole line. We open console, press Ctrl V and press enter, and it's done. Now all we need is to re-equip the hull, and it will be the end of the game. Here it is, our Navy flute with colonial, you know, beautifications, colonial cosmetics, which is normally not in the game at all. Ta-da! This is how it goes. Only took me about a week. This was the hardest hack I had done for now, mostly because, as I said, this was my first time messing with Unreal Engine 4, so it took me a friggin' week. My previous record was trying to find lap value in Motorstorm Pacific Rift, which took me 4 days. So, let me check my list of stuff. Oops. I made it for myself not to forget anything. So, item swaps, I did it. Mesh material swap and non-starter hull combo 2-in-1, I did it. Yeah, once again, there are pretty much 4 items in the ship for the ship in this game, and they are all listed here. So I did the hull, and there are also quarterdecks, figureheads, and sails. I showed them. Oh, I wrote them down. I wrote all of them down, and they all work pretty much the same. You open the console, you pass your prepared line, and that's how it goes. This is how it goes. So, if you want to save the particular line, the particular item, which might be especially useful if you don't want to do object, or if you don't want to check your object dumps for every new item you get, and if you like the particular stats of particular item, it is actually very easy to upgrade your item in this game. I hate these numbers anyway, so this is how you hack the levels. One way is, I guess, download the cheat table which is out there in the internet, and it has a lot of different options, and probably item levels as well. The second option is to check your save game, because it is also very easy. The item levels are written right there. And the third level is simply to edit your memory like I usually do, my favorite method. So we go for 39, our currently equipped item, we change it for 49, and we search accordingly for 49, let's go. Already just 2 values, it's really quick. So here is our 2 values, and we upgrade it to 50, and yes, all the stats will be upgraded accordingly, I checked it. And here it is, we have level 50 hull, and all cosmetics are here. Here's how you go, here's how it goes. The only problem, of course, is that you gotta, you gotta pump in these lines every time you start the game, because obviously these cosmetics are not saved anywhere, these changes to cosmetics that we do. But as long as you got the lines prepared, it's just 4 times Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V, so it's easy. You prepare the lines once and then you play the game. Okay, now, what else? What else? Let me once again check it. Oh yeah, texture replacements. Item levels, I just did it. Yeah, I'm good. Texture replacement. So this is another thing which I did for the first time with Unreal Engine 4, texture replacement. Thing is, I checked Jolly Rogers, these flags, and I didn't like any of them at all. So here's how you do texture replacements. I decided I will do my own flags, so I closed my pack folder, whatever. You go to your unpacked folder and you determine the texture which you want to extract, and then you go for the either UE4 DDS Tools or for the UAsset Viewer, I believe that's the program. UAsset Viewer. Oh no, not UAsset Viewer. UModel. Yeah, that's the program. UModel 64. So you make it pick up your packs. Then it might ask you for the key for this game. But once again, I will not show you how to extract the key. It is very easy, and the key can be found in the internet. There are long list of keys for all games in the web on several websites, which are not hard to find, really. But I will not waste my time on this. It only takes a few seconds, as there are tutorials on extracting the keys either way. And then you go for the file which contains the texture that you want to extract. For Jolly Rogers, we go for the KOS, content, bonds, ships, custom, sales, textures. And we need a flag prototype 02 for X2. You just check these files and find the one you need, it's as easy. And you double click it and it will get us potentially this. Sometimes it automatically determines the version. I know my version is 423. To determine the version yourself, you need to go to the game binaries Win64 and right click your exe, properties, advanced, and here the version of Unreal Engine which you use is 423. It is also easy to determine manually. And here's our flag texture. From here on we got to just do export current object and UModel export, whatever. Alright. TGA uncompressed, everything's okay here, I just do it by default. Usually you do not even need to change anything here. So here's our new folder, UModel export, writes the whole way here, and here's our new flag. So this is our texture, and this is it. We don't need the UE viewer anymore. Now we need the UE4 DDS Tools to actually inject our new texture. I mean, once we've done it, and my done texture is here, so let's assume that we've done the texture right. Once we've done the texture, we open the UE4 DDS Tools, it automatically opens in the inject mode, and this is the mode we need. So I actually moved all the files I needed to one folder, which is useful when you do the modding. So you drop the flag file, the original flag file you need, in the first field. Let me just clear it to make it obvious. File in the first field, texture file, the new one that we need to inject, in this field, and output folder. Well, I prefer this one, so I go Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V like this. And one thing which is unchecked by default, but I use it for this game because I think the flags use terrible compression. They're already hard to see as is. So I use no MIP maps, and I think it makes it all a bit better. And we press inject and success. There's also a command line somewhere under my folder. Here it is. It also shows success, as you can see. And it just created these 2 new files. Now we need to pack these files so the game can load them. This is how it's done. So we cut these files and we go for the tool which is named UnrealPak for this task. Repak actually can do it too. Repak can actually do it as well. That's weird. Alright, why not does? But alright, do repak or UnrealPak, whichever one you prefer. So then you create your folder for the mod. I usually create it right here in the UnrealPak folder, and you need to do the ~p. It is important. So my mod is custom materials, and ~p is the part that we need. Then you recreate the whole thing where the file is stored. So if you may remember, our original way for the flag, which we just grabbed with what was the name of the program? UModel, yeah, which we extracted with UModel, was KOS, content, pawns, ships, custom, sales. And we recreate all the stuff. Custom materials, KOS, content, pawns, ships, custom, sales, textures. And we drop our file here. After that, we just drag and drop this folder on the UnrealPak. Oh no, on UnrealPak one of these bat files, compression or without compression. It doesn't matter, I usually do it with without compression, whatever. And then we cut this created pack, return to the folder where our original pack is stored, which is usually game name, content, packs. And we create, this folder is usually not here, a package which is named, a folder which is named ~mods. And we passed our created pack here, like this. And from that point on, we just load the game, and it works like this. To actually do something, well, there's also, sorry, yeah, a bit hectic here, but there is also a thing that you can like determine the order in which the packs are loaded, and I forgot to write it down, damn it. Wasn't it somewhere around here? Pack chunk, something like this. Yeah, pack chunk. This is how you should name them. I believe, at least. I gotta double check them. Correct me on this one, either way. So this is how you should do it. Pack chunk 01 or pack chunk 1 lower dash. This was the way, right? Oh no, just dash. Pack chunk. Oh yeah. All right. I didn't need it for this game, but this is how you should do it. And this means this mod will load first, and then we can add another mod which will load second. Something along these lines. Once again, I might be wrong about this, but this is how this should work. And the files from the mod which is loaded later in the queue will override the files which are loaded from the previous mods. So the most important mods which you need gotta come last. This is how it's done. At least I believe this is how it's done. But to actually do something, let's swap several materials, and I will show you how to do it. So Win64 IGCS client, inject DLL, we need our console running. And one thing I wanted to do is to swap materials on the galleon, figurehead and quarterdeck in the for the Navy. Let's for the start load the default materials so you will see the changes, because the flag is something I already did. So figureheads, galleon Navy. This is the one we need, Navy boss. And there it goes. Oops. Static mesh. And the same for the quarterdeck. Navy boss, here it is, but with CR. Like this. Alright, so let's now enter. Check the bank. What do we have for quarterdecks? Yeah, these are the things I used for my research and they will do just fine right now. So let's Ctrl C our quarterdeck line and our figurehead line. Like this. Now we got a change for the galleon, and now we need to equip this stuff. Oops. Figurehead. Oh, come on. Come on. This figurehead. Alright, here's our galleon with boss, figurehead and boss quarterdeck. And I wanted to give them less gaudy looks. So now the game is saved. And we can close it. And how to do a material swap. This is another thing which I learned myself to do, and for this we will need the game or the program which is named UAsset Viewer. So for starters, let's add to our mode, which is, you know, UnrealPak, Custom Materials P, KeyOS, Content, Pawns, Ships, Custom. And here we have to add these Navy figureheads. So we go to our unpacked game folder, Content, Pawns, Ships, Custom, and Navy. So we create Navy here. Oops, pardon me. Navy, and here we create galleon. And from the galleon we copy the CR Navy boss and CF Navy boss. But I don't want these things to replace the Navy boss parts. Instead, I want them to replace CF Navy 01 and CR Navy 01 accordingly. Oh, I forgot the Navy part in the CF. This happens to the best of us. And now we gotta do the mesh swap. So, to do the mesh swap, as I said, we need the tool which is named UAsset Viewer. It is here, Asset Editor. So we launch it, press File, Open, and just Ctrl C the location of our files here. Yeah, two files, UAsset. And we open them, and what we need to change is first the name of the asset, which is placed here. Oops. Like this, and here. And then we need to change the material we want to use. Material is basically texture. Of course it is not quite texture, but for the purposes we have here, treat it as a texture swap, but, you know, just by using the textures that are already in the game without making your own. So we change Navy Boss to Navy Elite. here's another one. And this is it. We press save. File saved, and we open the next one. And header list. And we go for Navy Boss, or Navy Elite, and Navy Elite. And we go CR Navy 01. Like this, and Control S. This is how it goes. Basically this is it. We done our material swaps. So now we go to UnrealPak. Once again we drop our mod folder onto one of the bats. I use the bat without compression. And once it's done we move our pack to the mods folder, and now we launch the game again. Oh, how much time have passed? Oh, almost an hour, of course. Oh, this is such a lousy tutorial, it still takes an hour. Well, while the game loads, let's prepare our lines. We need Navy 01. And for quarter decks too. So Navy 01 like this. Yeah, as the items are equipped, all I need is to punch in our console commands and then reload the files. And to reload, I mean I just need to re-equip them. Oh yeah, we need to activate console. I a bit forgot about them. That activating console, injecting DLL. Yeah, there it goes. Control V, enter, and now the figurehead. There it is. And there it goes. Now all we need is to re-equip this stuff and check out the new material. No, it didn't work for whatever reason. I mean, it definitely worked, but not in the way I hoped it will work. That's kinda sad. I hoped it's, you know... Oh, the front one worked splendidly though. Well, at least the front one worked. It's definitely the Elite material. Why the hell the rear one didn't work, I wonder? What did I do wrong? Let me open it with UAsset. With Asset Editor. Rear. Header class. CR Navy. Material Navy Elite. That's correct. This is correct too. I guess this material just doesn't support this lavish rear. This is really weird. I was pretty sure it will work. Just a quick check, which probably is also of interest for this tutorial, but to see if the material is attached correctly, if this is my fuck up or if the material just doesn't work, we need to... Oh boy, where it is? Oh, here it is. We need to use the U model which we already used. And we need a key. And redirect to the packs folder. Okay. So let's go to our mod folder, KOS, content, bones, ships, custom navy, Galleon, CR, 423, okay. And tools, show material ID, null. Doesn't load, it's import MI Navy Boss was not found in package. Yeah, that's weird. And I bet, yeah, the front one just doesn't give such a roar. Oops. No materials. Imports normally. yeah. And the rear part, the quarter deck, gives an error. Alright, after analyzing the original file and the... oops, the original is open. And the changed file, I realized an error. I just replaced the wrong line. It says Navy Boss, not MI Navy Boss, and I replaced it instead of the correct line, so let me just fix it. Sorry, happens with the best of us. Yeah, as you can see, it says MI Navy Light here because I replaced the wrong line. It should be like this, Ctrl S. I still have your model or UE viewer open. By the way, if you reload the model right now, it will not change because UE viewer caches stuff somewhere, and I'm pretty sure it is impossible to reload it without actually, well, reloading it. So let's do just that, just to check everything. So redirect to packs, key, okay. Oh, come on. Heck, went wrong now. What did wrong now? What did went wrong now? Alright. Anyway, it works. It works. How could a Ctrl V went? Oh yeah, perhaps I just didn't quite press Ctrl or something like that. Anyway, Navy, Galleon, CR, 423. Yep, bingo. Alright, yeah. So, damn, just the wrong material. Oh boy. Well, so what do we do now? We kick this Navy Boss out of our mod folder. We repack our mod. We place our mod into the mod folder. I feel like I'm making the worst tutorial on YouTube. So many mistakes. But alright, you saw it in UE viewer, so it works. I'll just have a cigarette and then I'll reload the game and load it in the game just to be like 100% sure that everything works. And while the game loads, there's one more thing. I tried to actually add new items into the game, but it didn't work for whatever reason. I have no idea why. I tried really hard and from my point of view I did everything correctly. This is why I have things like Asset Registry Helper and repak in my folder, because repak and Asset Registry Helper are things that are packing and repacking things much quicker. Repak packs and unpacks packs much quicker, and Asset Registry Helper actually allows you to edit this asset registry bean, and asset registry bean is the file which apparently holds the description of every object which is loaded by the game. And I'm not sure how it works. I guess I just do not understand something so far, because I'm pretty sure I kicked some items out of the asset registry altogether, and the darn asset registry, the darn game still loads them, and it fails to pick up my new items, the items I added. But I gotta admit that I didn't use a proper Unreal instance of the Unreal Engine to edit the items so far. I did it with Hex Editor and, you know, things like Asset Registry Helper and Pack Repak, all that stuff. So, and once again, I'll repeat, this is my first time messing with Unreal Engine. I spent about a day or two trying to understand how things might work, and they didn't work in the end. So yeah, I just said, alright, I spent a lot of time on this particular game as is, and I said, texture swaps, item swaps will do. Maybe for the next game I will actually attempt to get into the, you know, into the whole asset registry and adding new items thing more in depth, But for this tutorial, I guess just swapping items for this try, swapping items is more than enough. Yeah, it works now. I think this looks much better than gold. I will add some hull materials. I guess I'll have something to do with this. Anyway, yeah. For this tutorial, it already lasted an hour, and I think this will do. This will do. Probably as hectic and messy as usually my tutorial goes, probably even more since I haven't done tutorials for a while, especially massive ones like this. But yeah, will do. And for the next tutorial, I guess, and if I'll find any other interesting Unreal Engine 4 game to mess with, I'll probably figure out how to use Asset Register Helper and actually add new items to the mods properly. And what can I say? So yeah, probably adding new items will be a thing for the next tutorial. Yeah, I guess that's more than enough for this particular tutorial. So yeah, this is it. Let's call it a day. Thanks for being with me, cats. Good luck.